All right, everyone. Welcome back to another deep dive. And today, we're going to be tackling a true horror classic,
Oh,
A
yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors.
Classic.
This is uh, this is the film that I think a lot of people have a lot of opinions on,
It's a good one.
and we're going to be talking about all of them.
Absolutely.
But, it's interesting. Freddy Krueger's one of those villains that just never seems to get old.
Yeah.
He's been around for decades now, and he still has this power to terrify and entertain us.
Yeah.
What is it about this striped sweater wearing dream stalking boogeyman that still has us hooked, I guess, after all these years?
It's fascinating, isn't it? I think Dream Warriors in particular really hit a sweet spot for the franchise because it took it in a new direction.
Okay.
It blended straight up horror with elements of fantasy and action.
Yeah.
You could almost say it's got a touch of a superhero origin story vibe, especially with how the characters develop their dream powers.
I like that. I like that take on it.
Yeah.
It's definitely got more of that fantastical element to it than the previous two, for sure.
Absolutely.
And, it picks up with Kristen, Joey, and Kincaid, who we will remember from the previous film.
Right.
They survive Freddy's attacks. But let's be real, trauma doesn't just disappear overnight.
No, it doesn't.
They're trying to rebuild their lives, but
Right.
Freddy's back to haunt their dreams. And this time, he's got some seriously creative ways of picking them off.
He does.
We're going to get into that for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting how the film uses this familiar setup of teens facing a seemingly invincible killer to explore the deeper psychological impact of trauma.
Oh,
It's not just about jump scares anymore. It's about how these experiences really shape who they are,
Yeah.
how they interact with each other, and ultimately how they decide to fight back.
And the way Freddy comes back is seriously creepy.
Yeah.
Kincaid, he's the first to go, right?
He is.
Remember that scene where he's trapped in the junkyard?
Yeah.
Well, guess what?
What?
It's the same junkyard where they buried Freddy's body.
It all comes full circle, doesn't it?
Even his dog Jason seems to sense something sinister, digging at Freddy's burial site. Talk about foreshadowing.
Right. It's almost as if Freddy's power is tied to that physical location.
Okay,
His evil is literally rooted in that spot.
I see.
And Kincaid's death is quick, brutal.
Yeah.
The filmmakers waste no time establishing that Freddy has returned, and he's more powerful than ever.
Oy.
He's not messing around.
And then we meet Alice Kristen's new friend.
Yes.
She seems pretty normal at first,
Right.
but there are these subtle hints that she's got this connection to the dream world.
Yeah.
Like when she sees the chalk drawing of the house,
Oh,
you just get this feeling that she's about to become something more.
Exactly. The film uses these visual cues to foreshadow Alice's role, and I think that's one of the things that makes Dream Warriors so effective.
Yeah.
It's not just telling you what's going to happen, it's planting these seeds of mystery and anticipation.
Right.
And then there's the whole concept of shared dreams, which is such a brilliant way to create this sense of interconnectedness between the characters.
They're all linked
Yes.
by their experiences, their fears, their dreams.
Yeah.
It's like this unspoken bond
Yeah, absolutely.
that makes their fight against Freddy even more personal.
It does.
But things get really dark when Kristen tries to fight back.
Oh, yeah.
She tries to turn her nightmares into pleasant dreams, thinking she can trick Freddy,
Right.
but it backfires big time.
Yeah.
This scene in Freddy's boiler room
Oh, it's so pivotal.
is so pivotal.
It is.
It's where we see just how manipulative Freddy can be, how he twists their hopes and desires against them.
Against them.
And it's where he reveals his true ambition.
Mm.
He doesn't just want to terrorize Elm Street anymore. He wants to spread his reach beyond those boundaries,
Beep on.
claim more victims.
Yeah, he wants the world.
He wants the world.
That's right.
It's like he's feeding off their fear, growing stronger with each kill.
Absolutely.
But Kristen, even in her final moments, manages to do something incredible.
Yep.
She transfers her dream powers to Alice,
She does.
passing the torch, so to speak.
What is a great way to put it?
It's both heartbreaking and empowering at the same time.
It really is. It really highlights the cyclical theme of trauma and resilience.
Right.
Kristen, a survivor from the last film, is now passing on her strength to Alice, who represents the next generation of fighters.
Yeah.
You could even draw parallels to real life, how trauma can be passed down through generations, but so can the strength to overcome it.
Mm.
It's this powerful message of hope amidst the horror.
I like that.
Yeah.
Hope amidst the horror.
Yeah. And Alice, she doesn't just inherit Kristen's power, she embraces it.
Yeah.
It's like she takes all that grief, that fear, that responsibility, and turns it into fuel.
Right.
She's not just running from Freddy.
Yeah.
She's actively learning, adapting, trying to understand how to use these dream powers to her advantage.
It's such a cool contrast
It is.
to the previous films where the characters were mostly reacting to Freddy's attacks.
Yeah.
Alice is actually trying to outsmart him to play his game on her own terms.
Right.
Like, remember that scene where Freddy traps her and Dan in that time loop?
Oh, yeah.
You think he's got him, but then she figures out a way to break free.
She does. It's like watching a gamer level up, you know?
Yeah.
Each time Freddy throws a challenge at her, she finds a way to overcome it, absorbing new abilities, becoming more confident.
Yeah.
And let's not forget how visually stunning those sequences are.
Oh, yeah.
The filmmakers really pushed the boundaries of special effects back then, creating these imaginative, surreal, and often disturbing dream worlds.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And speaking of disturbing, let's talk about those deaths.
Oh, yes.
I mean, Debbie getting turned into a cockroach and then crushed in a roach motel.
Oh.
That's some next-level nightmare fuel right there.
It's terrifying.
But it just shows how Freddy preys on their individual fears.
Right.
Even the seemingly small, insignificant ones.
Yeah, he gets you where it hurts.
Right.
It's not just about the gore, though.
Right.
It's about the psychological torture.
Right.
Okay.
He's getting inside their heads, exploiting their vulnerabilities.
Right.
And it's a testament to the creativity of the filmmakers, you know?
Yeah.
They didn't just rely on jump scares.
Yeah.
They crafted these unique and memorable death scenes that still have people talking about them today.
For sure.
Yeah.
But as much as those deaths are impactful, I think what really elevates Dream Warriors is the way it balances the horror with these deeper themes and character development.
Oh, absolutely.
We see Alice struggling with her grief, her doubts, her newfound powers.
Right.
And she's not alone in this fight.
No, she's not.
She has Dan, the supportive intern, who believes in her even when she doesn't believe in herself.
Yeah, their relationship adds another layer of depth to the film.
Right.
It's not just about teenage angst. It's about finding connection and support in the face of overwhelming adversity. And it's interesting how Dan, who's initially skeptical of the whole dream world thing, becomes Alice's anchor to reality.
Yeah.
Her reminder that there's still good in the world worth fighting for. Absolutely. And that all leads up to the epic final showdown.
Yeah.
Dan's in the hospital after the car accident.
Oh.
And Alice knows she has to face Freddy alone.
Uh-oh.
The tension is palpable. And you can feel this shift in the film's energy.
Oh, yeah.
Like everything has been building up to this moment.
Everything.
It's not just about survival anymore. It's about Alice taking control. Yeah. Using everything she's learned to confront Freddy head on.
Right.
And she doesn't disappoint.
No, she doesn't.
She uses her absorbed abilities, strategically outsmarting him, turning his own tricks against him.
Right.
That scene where she forces Freddy to confront his own inner torment.
Oh, my God.
To see the pain and suffering that created him. It's chilling.
It is.
It gives you goosebumps.
And then there's that amazing scene where she uses the Dream Master spell to free all the souls Freddy's been crapping.
Right.
It's such a cathartic moment. You see his power literally draining away as his clothes fall to the floor.
Yeah.
You think this is it.
He's finally gone.
He's finally gone, but then...
That final shot of Freddy's image in the fountain.
Right.
It lingers there like a shadow.
Yeah.
A reminder that evil never truly dies.
That's right.
It might be dormant, but it's always lurking, waiting for the right moment to resurface.
Yeah.
Talk about a chilling ending.
It's brilliant.
And then there's that coin toss scene with Alice and Dan.
Oh, yeah.
We see her make a wish, but we don't know what it is.
Right.
It's this little seed of mystery that leaves you wondering, what happens next?
Yeah.
Did she wish for Freddy to stay gone?
Right.
Did she wish for something else entirely?
We don't know.
It's such a clever way to leave the audience with questions.
Yeah.
To keep that sense of unease lingering.
Right.
Long after the credits roll.
Absolutely.
Like they knew they couldn't just kill Freddy off completely.
Right.
You know.
He's too iconic.
He's become this icon, right?
Yeah.
This symbol of our deepest fears.
Absolutely.
But by leaving it open-ended, it gives us that power to imagine,
right.
What happens next.
Exactly. And that's what makes Dream Warriors such a lasting entry in the franchise.
Yeah.
It's not just a retread of the original. It expands the mythology, it deepens the characters, and it leaves us with those lingering questions.
Right. And let's not forget that music.
Oh, the music.
I mean, that soundtrack is pure 80s gold.
It is.
It's got that perfect blend of, synth-heavy tracks and that hard rock.
Yeah.
That just pumps up the intensity of those dream sequences.
Absolutely. The music adds so much to the atmosphere of the film.
Right.
It's one of those soundtracks you can listen to even when you're not watching the movie,
Yeah.
and it instantly takes you back to that era.
For sure. But it's not just the music that makes Dream Warriors stand out.
Right.
We have to give credit to the director, Chuck Russell.
Yes.
He brought this fresh energy to the franchise, this visual flair that really sets it apart from the previous two.
Yes. And the cast is phenomenal.
Oh, yeah?
It was great to see Heather Langenkamp return as Nancy,
Right.
providing that link to the original. And of course, Robert Englund is at his Freddy Krueger best.
Oh, he is fantastic.
He's menacing, he's witty, and he's utterly terrifying, all at the same time.
He really embodies that role.
He does.
Doesn't he? And Patricia Arquette as Kristen
Oh, yeah.
is so good, too.
She's great.
You really feel for her character, and her performance makes that final sacrifice even more impactful.
Definitely. And I love how each of the new Elm Street kids has their own unique personality and dream power.
Yeah.
It's like this little superhero team coming together to fight this ultimate evil.
You know, even the special effects, even by today's standards,
I know.
hold up remarkably well.
They do.
The filmmakers used a combination of practical effects and stop-motion animation to create these really memorable visuals.
Right.
Like, remember that scene where Freddy's glove turns into a TV set
Oh, yeah.
and sucks in one of the kids?
Classic Freddy.
Classic Freddy. It's a testament to their ingenuity and creativity.
It's
They weren't afraid to experiment, to push the boundaries of what was possible with special effects back then.
Absolutely.
And I think that's part of the reason why Dream Warriors has this, like, timeless quality to it.
It does.
I think anyone who appreciates horror movies, especially those who love a good dose of 80s nostalgia, needs to watch Dream Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
It's got the scares, the humor, the heart, and that iconic villain that made the franchise so popular.
I couldn't agree more. It's a film that deserves to be revisited and appreciated for its contributions to the genre.
Right.
It's not just a sequel. It's a turning point that reinvigorated the franchise and inspired a whole new generation of filmmakers.
So what are our official ratings for Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors?
For me, it's a solid 4.75 out of 5.
Wow.
The film's willingness to explore those deeper themes, to take risks with the narrative, and to deliver those truly memorable moments makes it a standout entry in the franchise.
I'm right there with you. I'm giving it a 4.5. It's got everything you want in a Freddy movie. Creative kills, amazing dream sequences, and a strong female protagonist who actually fights back.
And it reminds us that even in our darkest nightmares, there's always a spark of hope. A possibility for resilience and the power to overcome even the most formidable of foes.
Well said. And that wraps up our deep dive into Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors. We hope you enjoyed this trip down Elm Street. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite movies and pop culture phenomena. You